one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Lori, can we have a roll call of members, please?
Mr. Chapman? Here. Ms. Gracious? Here. Mr. Ziegler?
Here.
Ms. Thompson? Here. Ms. Terry Navarre? Here. Ms. Miller?
I would like to note, been in correspondence with Ms. Miller. She is under the weather and her absence is excused. We're going to start this evening with a presentation by Kenton County Judge Executive Chris Knockelman.
Thank you very much, Mayor and council members. I probably can't see him, but you guys have a lot going on, so I'm trying to set it your way in most meetings, but I thought an opportunity just to share with you some of the good things going on in Kenton County and some of the challenges maybe that might be there. But when any of you get tired, let me just do one of these now. Lots of great things to talk about this evening. First off, and as I look around the room, you know, you've had a long history with a great police department, but one of the things that we've done, as you know, and some of this I believe some of you might know and might not, but it's good to get an update on it. And that is one of the key things where we support your police department and fire departments here in Ludlow or through dispatch. You know, years back we consolidated that effort, and we really thankfully have, I think, one of the best, if not the best dispatch operation in the Commonwealth. We just have a great team. Ashley Hawks, who's been doing a great job there. And then to support that, one of the things I think cities sometimes are not aware of is within our, as we rolled out the radio system, which is now 5 years old, which is now regionally Boone County Campbell. I think we've got one of the best CAD systems, the dispatch system that the dispatchers use to support the team. And I think we'll see that come into fruition where Boone and Campbell will also be on the same system here in Shore. So that'll be a great benefit to raise the level of public safety for the entire region. One of the things too is we joined the Code Red system in 2017. I think your city's been continues to support that and make sure your residents know that you go online. It's a great resource across the board when they want to get notified. That people do have to register for Code Red, so we do encourage residents, and whenever you do that on your social media website, you encourage residents to log into that. It doesn't cost any money, but it's a great resource. In addition to that, as part of the dispatch effort in the radio system, part of that fund is to make sure that all of your police and fire have the most recent updated technology, meaning the mobile data terminals that they use. That's not on your city budget, that's taken care of through the county-wide system. Why do you care? Well, you don't have to debate that on your budget, number one. You don't have to get this conversation about, well, we wait another year to upgrade. They're upgrading when they need to be done, and there's just no argument about it. That's across the county level. Every city has that same benefit, as well as other corporations. To that point as well, you may wonder what kind of calls does Ludlow generate for dispatch. Last year it was a little over 8,700 calls to the 911 system, which is about 3% of the total for the county. And as you know, by having it done together, we continue to have an elevated staff, elevated training, and elevated technology. To that end, as people get, if there is an issue where a police have to arrest, we send them over to the detention center. Proud to watch the great work that Jill Fields continues to do. A couple of data points there. 2024, there were 135 arrests made through the Ludlow PD. And one of the things that we continue to support the detention center on Jill Fields is making sure that those who are needed to be incarcerated are incarcerated, those who need to be out working or work with the judges to make sure they are, as well as getting the kind of treatment or support that they need to get fixed so they never come back to the jail, but they're obviously paying the price for whatever their crime may have been. That team, by the way, prior to COVID, the dispatch or the detention center had almost 900 inmates. Right now we're running about 630 a day. Again, why do you care? Well, it happens to be that the staff is not overworked. They're able to support your police department as required, as well as making sure that we're not overspending resources so they're all part of your budget, part of your tax dollars and to support that. And as always, the Kenton Police Department is there to support your police department, especially when it comes to crime scene or accident
reconstruction.
Reconstruction, thank you. That's an effort that we've been able to do for a long time. Now, a sad note, we were there with one of the best internet crimes against children's teams in the Commonwealth. Wish that wasn't necessary, but that's one of those terrible things that we have to support to make sure that those criminals are obviously pulled off the street. We can't do it without really good investigators. Continue to be there for you all. We have a countywide Homeland Security Emergency Management. Steve Hensley has done that great job for, he's doing that for 15 years now, and his team to make sure that they're there when things happen, flooding, et cetera, as well as other issues. They're helping to support you. A couple of other notes before I jump into some of the fun stuff as well. We are always making, you might not be aware of this, but anything that we buy in the county, any contract that we negotiate is always has a line that allows the city to always buy on that same contract without renegotiating. But especially when it comes to public works items, it really hurts across the board. Sometimes that saves you money, sometimes it doesn't, and then you can make that choice, obviously. And as well as things like we encourage, we have a road striping program, as well as we have a road evaluation program. We invite all the cities to be a part of that and not have to go through that process individually. Another area that is probably one of the most retail-focused parts of the county does is the animal control effort. We're there to help when individuals call for whatever needs for animal services. And we just had a new director, Kelly Sauer, who stepped into that role, doing a great job as well. Continue to elevate and make sure that we're supporting the families who have animals that are missing, but also the animals, period, that are out there. So making sure that we're treating them fairly, getting them reintroduced back to the owners and to volunteers. And to that end, Ludlow last year we had about 190 calls to animal control. Jumping over to some bigger initiatives that you might be aware of and seeing that most of them are really going to come to fruition over the next year or two. And I'd like to just touch on a couple of those. One of which is our community development fund. I told the mayor about this as well. Thankfully, we don't have a great need for this in the city, but what that is if you have blighted property, you need some resources to help partner with to acquire, to just those challenging properties that might exist in the city. We are there to partner. We have some state resources that allow us to partner with the cities to essentially just buy them, get them set up for redevelopment, get them back into good use. That is something that's available, and that's on top of some of the redevelopment money. You might be watching some of the projects we've done, working with Independence or Warners and Covington, and those are essentially site readiness. Fort Mitchell was one as well, where they needed some resources, and we've been able to take the state dollars, allocate them to some key projects, so they're not local tax dollars, but it's a case of us getting some of our Frankfurt dollars back. So we're always there to partner, and hopefully reach out to us when necessary. A quick update on the UK School of Medicine at Chase Law School. That project is a partnership funded through the Commonwealth, but also partnered with the county and the Port Authority. We should be finalizing the location of that building within the next couple of weeks at the latest. We will be open for a new Chase School of Law and the UK School of Medicine by August 28th. So that will be under construction and running in our county. We're proud of that to be right here around the corner for you all. And why do you all care about that? Well, as part of it, the idea is bringing more and more students, more and more, both of those areas of concentration. Hopefully they're in the county, and hopefully they stay over in Kentucky. Lawyers don't, we obviously don't have an issue with great attorneys being taught at Chase and staying here. But we're going to continue that high level of support and good facilities. And the same thing with UK School of Medicine. That'll be about $125 million project, and that will be all invested in this project. Two other really exciting ones, Spark House, the entrepreneurship hub that will be opening up in the Old Sims Furniture Building. If you haven't had a moment, put on your calendar. That'll be opening in September formally, but I keep using this term, why do you care? This is probably one of being the best entrepreneurship hub in all of the Commonwealth. So the businesses that are started and they grow, and our community will have a hub where they get either funding and support to hopefully have them grow and really do amazing things for their families, their employees. And the building itself will be a great support for really anybody who has an interest in supporting business. And obviously we hope they all start and grow and Ludlow as well. Lastly, this is the new county park. So we don't have a formal name for it yet, but the old Fox Run Golf Course, which has been open and is open today for walks and trails. That effort is we're about ready to hire the design firm that will work through us on making sure that this is really an iconic park and not something that is duplicative of what's already around the area. You've got great parks that many other cities do as well. That 225 acres will be something that all of us as Kent County residents will be very proud of for decades and decades to come. We expect some of the things that we believe will be part of that final result will be not only great trails, because of the hills that are out there, it really gives us an opportunity to take pathways up into the trees, so you can go with your family, you can make with your friends, and just get a view that you might not otherwise get in any part of Kent County, and you're 10 minutes away. As well as, of course, we'll have some pickleball courts and things of that nature. It is not going to be focused around organized sports, but primarily around making how do we get more and more families and individuals to connect, get out there and get some exercise, and to see something that you don't otherwise see across the community. And it won't be duplicative again, as Bill was playing for the Eons Park earlier. It's a great plan that they've got coming together. But this is something we'll see dirt probably move sometime next spring. Definitely by this time next year, you'll see and hear about things moving along at the park. And we'll have a name for it at that time as well. So with that, any questions or comments you have, I'm happy to take any zingers or softballs you'd like to ask. I appreciate all your service to the city and everybody in the county. We're always here to help you serve.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you all. And I'm going to head out this evening.
Take care.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right, next on the agenda, we have approval of the meeting minutes for July 31st, 2025.
Make a motion to approve the meeting minutes from July 31st, 2025.
Thank you, Julie.
I second it.
Thank you, Sarah. All in favor signify aye.
Aye.
Opposed signify nay. The motion passes. Next, we have staff reports. We'll start with the fire chief.
Thank you, Mayor. You have my report in front of you. We keep getting a little bit busier and busier. We always got something going on, whether it's public relations, inspections, continue to work with the school on their school plan. You got any questions about my report or last month's report?
All right, thank you. Next, we'll move into the Public Works Director report.
Thank you, sir. You guys also have my report on there. I just want to touch base on, just to let you guys know that we're working with Cassandra Holman from the Urban Canopy Works. It's going over to this tree survey for all the trees in the public right-of-way and all the parks. She'll be around next week to gather the information needed for the survey. So if you see her out looking at your trees, or residents see her looking at the trees out there by the street, that's what she's out there for. I met with the property manager up at 300 Highway last week, and the state, they were talking about the sidewalk up there. The slope is really bad. I know we've been on sidewalks for a minute here, and I imagine Jamie's not here, but he may have sent them something about the sidewalk. Going up there, and pretty much the first thing he said was like, there's little cracks in the road, which that's why he had the state there. He feels like water's getting in through there. And then he looked up at the hill and said, well, there's a new development up there. It's moving because of that. I'm like, I want to stop you real quick, because I used to maintain that property over 15 years ago, and this sidewalk's exactly the same as it was then. So it's nothing to do with any of that stuff. Maybe the road's letting a little bit of water in, but that's not it. And he kind of like, okay. So he's going to look into, which the state guy, he kind of suggested need a footer behind. There's a pretty steep wall, or pretty steep hill right there by that sidewalk going down into the property. And just over time, the hill's eroding away a little bit. So he said if you did a footer, that would kind of help stabilize that sidewalk a little bit. So he's going to look into doing that to hopefully get that up to par. The only other thing I have is we started on road work up at Rivers Breeze. There's a section up there that has a street drain that goes all the way across the roadway. We started on the uphill portion the last few days, and we got it tore out. We thought we were just going to pour it back in concrete and be done with it. Once we got it pulled out, there's a corrugated metal steel pipe up there that's actually rusted apart and away, so that's why it's kind of given. And there's pretty heavy trucks that go up there. Amazon goes up there probably 20 times a day, so it's getting beat up. So we had a new drain system from Conquip that we got a hold of, and we're going to install that hopefully tomorrow and pour it. Once we pour it'll be a week before we can do the other side, at least week and a half, because we have to wait for it to dry enough, or cure enough to actually drive on it. And then we'll start on the downhill section. So that's pretty much, unless you guys have anything else on my report or last week's report. Any questions at all?
I have two things. I saw that we secured the funding for the amphitheater. That work is going to start in the park?
Yeah, I'm waiting on another bid to come in, see if we can get a little bit cheaper. But yeah, I should be starting that in not too long.
Great.
I saw where you had a tree company down by Riverfront Commons clearing
Yeah.
out some trees along the riverbank area. That's a completely different look down there now. It looks
Yeah.
nice.
That was all due to South Bank and Will Weber. I mean, he set that up and at no cost to the city. He's been improving that down there for us.
It improved the city, it improved that area down there.
Right. Yeah, Public Works did it a couple of years ago, and obviously it grew back, and, you know, they did trees that we couldn't have done, so they got up and thinned some stuff out, raised the canopies up, so you can definitely see a nice view through there now. Yeah, we appreciate all the help they've provided us. I think it's next week, they're gonna take out the fence right there at Hollingsworth in the backside towards the trail, all the way down through there, and replace that with black.
It's gonna be a job taking that fence.
Yeah,
down.
so Public Works has offered to remove the fence, and then they were gonna pay to put it back in, so that's another South Bank gift. They've been doing a lot,
Shane,
so we appreciate it.
I know we
Yes, sir.
have some sort of a streets plan as far as repaving. Have we done any streets in Ludlow this summer? Are we about to? Where does that stand?
Well, what we did all the last budget, we kind of cleared out our whole budget that we had for it. So this year we haven't done any. I need to get with the city administrator and the mayor and kind of see where we're at on that, because through the state we get like $8,000 a month. Then it seems like a lot, but it takes a long time to build up to do a road. I mean, you do a section of road, you're looking at $100,000.
We just got some that are really bad shape, I think.
Yeah, there is a lot of them out there. Yeah.
Okay.
Shane, what streets did you do last year?
Last year we did part of. You put me on the spot. I wish I had that list
We
now.
did all the alleys.
Did the alleys,
Yeah, we did some of the alleys. We did Davie Street. We did part of. I'm trying to think what else we did.
At Oak Street?
Oak repaved last year?
No, Oak
Was
Street
the year
didn't do
before?
it. No, we did it like a seal coat on the Oak
Oh.
Street. Yeah,
Helen last year?
yeah, Helen. We did Helen. Yeah.
Was it?
Sorry, I should have all these.
Ash
in
might
my
have
head.
been 2 years ago. Was Ash last year?
Ash. That was a few years
The
ago.
Hill to Rivers Breeze was another one.
Yeah, we just did part of Rivers Breeze too.
I know that Route 8, the state could do some of that again. You know,
Yeah.
School area and all the way up through the main business.
Yeah, they did from Devereux on down towards Romley and stuff. I talked to them in, you know, the low spots around the 400 block of Elm. They got that on the list. They're trying to get the SD1 or the water department. There's like, depends on who, you know, what spot. It's either the water department or it's SD1. It's beyond their parameters on, you know, I guess a good job. So they're making them come back and refix those. So, but really that road is pretty much due to be resurfaced anyway. So I think they might, I don't know what they're going to do yet. They're kind of dragging their feet on it. I've been contacting them. I can't get any answers right now. So
I think at one point, like in the last 5 years or so, there's like 23 sections of roads that got done in the last 5 years, whether it be alleys or parts of Howard. There's like 23 different sections over the last 5 years.
Okay, thanks.
Well, I know you did Montclair about a couple of years ago.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. There's just, and some of it
that
is
was
just,
right after Adela.
Yes.
Adela we did, like that was the major one
that
we
was
did.
the major one. Some
And
of it's just so
Montclair.
hard because like one section of road is anywhere between $35,000 and $50,000 for one block. And that's if it's level and no real issues in the area. So you're talking about one city block, one block from stop sign to stop sign is $35,000 to $50,000. So we're kind of just piecemealing them as we going along. It's tough.
That's kind of what happened on Rivers Breeze. I mean, it was literally $35,000 to do that because they had some major base failures we had to fix and then get it repaved. And that was only from Elm Street to Hazen. It's a short section, but it's not cheap, man. It really isn't.
I have one more item for you. I wanted to follow up on the speed humps on Oak Street, the 400 and 500 block.
Yeah, we talked about the ones on, I kind of get your guys' consensus. I know we've done some riding around, kind of running over speed humps, and, you know, the faster you go, the smoother they are. So we're like, is it going to work or not? But, I mean, it's up to you guys if you guys really want to put them in, and we'll get the spots put in for sure.
I think we have.
I know we haven't started on them yet because we worked on the, the new property, clearing that off. We had other projects going, but
What kind of speed bumps are we kind of looking at?
speed humps, they're like,
Hump?
yeah,
The
it's a
bigger-
hump.
yeah, okay.
Yeah, the longer ones, not the
Somebody
most
does a
short
lot of
ones.
driving, I hate those little ones.
Oh, yeah. Those rattle you pretty
They're
bad.
definitely needed, like where Miss Thompson lives and
Yeah.
a couple
Yeah,
other
we-
spots.
We don't like
Still
plowing
some
in them
people
either.
there. So, okay, just want to make sure I know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anything else?
Does anyone have an opposition to the speed humps going in?
Do I?
No, does anyone? I'm just
No,
asking.
no.
What was the cost on the speed humps, by the
I
way?
think
Well,
around
we
the
got
school area is a good idea to slow it down.
they're around $3,000 a piece if we had someone else do them. Public Works would probably do them around $1,000 to $1,500 max. But if you guys are wanting 2, 3, I'm not sure. I knew we wanted one, and you guys were talking about one in the alley, and then 1 or 2 on Oak. So
Yeah, I think the 2 on Oak and then what do we call them, the rumble strips?
Yeah.
To them would be great, I think,
Yeah.
yeah. Okay. Thank you, Shane.
All right, thank you, Shane. So Jamie is out of town this evening. Were there any questions or comments on the code enforcement report? Okay, we'll move into the police chief's report.
Good evening. You all have my report. We had just over 700 calls last month. Out of that, about almost 200 were police-related, and about 550 were community-oriented based. In my report, I talked about some towing issues, or lack thereof, I guess. Just researching towing options, we currently don't have a contract for towing companies. That concerns me a little bit because we don't have any control over their insurance or some liability issues, so I would like to come up with a contract. I looked at mostly Taylor Mills. I really like the way theirs is structured. I included that in my report, some options. I know Taylor Mill, they attach a charge to the tow company. So every car that the record service tows on behalf of Taylor Mill gets, I don't know, $20 or $50 or something like that. I don't really care about that. That's up to you all. But that could give us a little bit of bargaining to get a discount on tows from the city. So like if a police car needs to be towed, they might give us a bigger discount if we don't get that kickback from the tow company, if that makes sense. If I did a good job of explaining that, probably not. But I don't like talking about that. But anyway, I don't want to put us in a position where we call a company that doesn't have enough insurance and have them drop a car, damage a car, and then the city be exposed to some liability. So I want to get a contract with a tow company or several tow companies where we can ensure that they have enough insurance to protect either the community or the city, however you want to look at that. So that's kind of on my agenda, hopefully to bring something back next month, probably closely mimic Taylor Mill. Now, Taylor Mill put it in their city ordinance. That's up to you all. I don't know how to do all this stuff. That's not my job. So if we want to look at something like that, let me know. I can give you copies of whatever you need to give you the information to make the decision.
I think it makes sense to get a contract to where we're not liable, if they have the proper insurance. And it'd be nice to have it with more than one company and do it around the robin, in case someone could show up.
And to interject, almost all of those places have some insurance. The question is just how much. So not that Chief Beck is incorrect, but to allay the view that we might have uninsured individuals picking up cars, I don't believe that's the case. Reviewing Chief Beck's report, this is a $1 million insurance policy, which is higher than would be normal. But not to dispute anything, just informational.
And would that also be used for like wrecks and broken downs and tow for leftover parking?
Right.
Okay, so then it seems like that's a liability that we could be held accountable for if we tow someone's car and they drop it and it gets broke.
Well, so the way I kind of ran into this was completely by accident, literally by accident. My son was driving my wife's car and he wrecked it basically. So I was exposed to a whole new side of towing that I was not familiar with. And the tow company that towed his car is too far away. They want nothing to do with us. They're farther south. So, but using them as an example, I found out that these tow companies, they have cameras on their truck. Like, I was kind of impressed, to be honest with you. You can track them. Like if they tow your car, they'll give you an app and you can track the tow truck on your phone and know where your car is. I was just kind of surprised. And currently, right now, so years past, we had 3 wrecker services on our tow list. 2 of them have fallen off on their own accord. 1 has stayed on. The one that we currently have, I have complete faith and confidence in them because I know that they tow for a larger city, and I know what that larger city requires out of them. So I know they have a very good insurance policy. They have good training for their drivers and whatnot. I just want to make sure that if we have other people on our list, that they kind of have the same quality, and that we know what the tow companies are charging. Like if we tow your car, I don't know what the tow company charges. I don't know, is it $500 or $200? Like I don't want our citizens or people driving through just had a wreck or whatever. I don't want them to get gouged. Like I think it needs to be fair. And right now we just don't know. So we just get somebody on the list that comes down with a wrecker.
So if your car is towed by a company, do they impound it and then you got to pay an impound fee?
It's not impounded per se. Only it could be impounded. If we put a hold on it, it would be impounded. They would have to come to us, get a release. And that would be like if they don't have insurance, if they don't have a registration, if they have a suspended driver's license, something like that would be a hold. Because we need to make sure that they can legally drive that car before they take it off the lot. If it's just a wreck, if you total your car or whatever it is, it gets towed, there's no hold on that, but the tow company will charge a storage fee. Typically, the insurance will pay for it. The guy that hit my son didn't have insurance, so like I said, I was exposed to the other side of this. And it gets pretty substantial pretty quick. So I just want to make sure that everything's kind of fair down here. And it hasn't been looked at. I don't think we've ever had a contract. I don't think anybody ever really looked at this. It's just kind of always, nothing's ever happened, so nobody's really cared, I guess, is what I'm trying to say.
So the tow company that you have faith in that works for another city, does that city have a contract with that company?
They do.
So maybe we should get a copy, request a contract for Patrick to review.
I already have that, but yes, I can supply that.
There's one attached to the report as well.
Yeah, that's Taylor Mill. The city I'm referring to is Orlando.
Okay.
I can get a couple copies, because as I understand it, most cities are going this route.
I think it's advantageous for us to pursue this.
Agreed.
I agree. People are too happy.
I'll try and get 3 or 4 copies for next month.
Thank you.
Are you finished? I got a question. I noticed you had met with the school and they had asked to close part of the Dell off.
I forgot about that, yep.
So have they approached you on that?
Yeah, I brought it up
Are
a
you-
couple meetings ago that it was something I kind of agree with. I kind of like the idea of it. I know that locals, people who live here, don't like going around. They don't see the need to close it off. But we're talking about that one little short section where it's closed off daily for school pickups and stuff like that anyway. I think in conjunction, personally, and I've said this before, is that at some point we make the Adela where no semi trucks, no concrete trucks, nothing come north of Ideal. right? So we have no concrete trucks, no big trucks coming toward the school and toward the neighborhoods, because it's also just so much wear and tear on these roads that don't have the subsurface that we're talking about to support them. And it's just very dangerous anyway because of the parking and things like that. So I would love to close it off to the semis and concrete trucks coming north of Ideal and shut that off permanently, that section of road. And it just become kind of a free floating, because they did buy the property across the street from them, which will be teacher parking, and now they're doing a, what do they call it? Some kind of kids services or something's happening over there. I forget what they're calling it. What is it?
An early childhood center.
Early childhood center right across the street. So you're gonna have even more back and forth. And as much as we'd love to say they're gonna use the crosswalks, they're not. So to me, it makes a lot of sense to have that as a permanent shutdown. And it'll take some time for people around here to go around, go up Helen, go up all the other roads, where there's many other avenues to use other than that one section road. Because of the size of the school and the development, I just think it's a smart move, personally.
Question, and I agree with that. And so these two things would be in conjunction, putting up the signage that the trucks aren't allowed to come that way.
Yes.
Will we also maybe block off Oak Street from turning off of Deverell, like, so that they're not still coming through that section?
Deverell or?
So Deverell to Oak.
Oh, yeah. I don't want no trucks coming down toward the school. There's no reason for semi-concrete trucks to come anywhere around that school at all. It just opens up a host of issues that we haven't ever seen yet. But we did have a kid that was struck by a car last year, and thank God it was a car, and it wasn't a concrete truck or a semi, because they would never even notice making those turns. So I think in conjunction, we do it as a package deal, is how do we want to see that flow of traffic happening going forward, because it's only getting bigger. And I know that the school is also looking at doing a kind of a sports complex in that area as well, whether it be across the street or in that area. So it's just going to grow. It's only going to get bigger. So I just think we do it now and plan for the future.
So a concrete truck coming in, let's say from Covington, how would you, and they're going to Ideal.
They're going to
How
go
would you see them going?
straight down Route 8, hit Deverell, take a left, go all the way down to Adela, take a left, and go into Ideal. When they leave Ideal, they go out of Ideal, they take a right, they go down Adela, they hit Sleepy Hollow, either take a left or they right. So that turn's making it the main intersections and main lights, not through stop sign, and coming through these smaller roads where we have cars parked on both sides.
And then the only other effect would be on the bus system, right?
Yeah, the buses would be the only one, but that'll be an easy adjustment. For the buses not to come down that one little piece, that's an easy conversation with Tank.
So is that something the school's going to pursue further, or how's this going?
Well, I mean, they can't do anything unless you.
Well, I know, but I mean, talking to the city.
Yeah, the school wants to. I don't think time is necessarily of the essence as far as, some of those future plans that they have. But yes, I mean, that is something that they would like to see done through conversations that I've had with Dr. Steffen.
So as far as Tank goes, we're talking Helen Street?
No, we're not talking Helen. Tank can go up and down Oak. Tank can do whatever they want. They're just not going to be able to go.
Just not gonna be able to turn, they can use Oak?
Yes.
So where are you gonna have them turn, because typically they do turn down Adela.
I don't know. That'll be up to them. We'll tell them we're going to shut off that part of Adela, and Tank can reroute.
Okay.
But they'll still have the stops on Oak, and you shouldn't miss any stops. Now, where they turn or make that turn is.
Well, I'm just saying that Helen's kind of narrow as it is with
Yeah.
parking on both sides.
Helen would be too narrow. They would have to. They could not use Helen.
No. I would imagine Tank will go all the way down to Carneal or Emmett to Kenner or to Deverell like they already do. I mean, we're talking about they cut down that one section of Adela there. They go down two streets. The turn on the Kenner is easier. The turn on the Carneal is easier. So
Okay.
I'd imagine that's what they would do.
Anything else?
Okay, thank you. Next, we'll move into my report. First thing I have, the City of Ludlow is hosting the Kitten County Mayor's meeting on Saturday at 9 a.m. at the community center. So I wanted to invite the council members, if you all would like to attend. The past couple of years, several of you have attended, come down.
That's
It's
this Saturday.
this Saturday, yeah, this Saturday, 9 a.m. Would love to have you all. Let me know if you would like to come down. I want to give you a thank you to all of the department heads. This is not anything new, but as I was listening to the reports and I was thinking of the folks up here, I think within the last week I've called every single one of them off hours, and everyone is happy to answer and work through whatever I need to work through. So I just, I think it bears repeating how much I appreciate that. So I say that privately to them a lot, that I'm really appreciative of their time, but I want to say it publicly as well. An update on Be Concerned and a potential partnership with Be Concerned. Talked to Andrew Brunsman, the CEO of Be Concerned, earlier this week. Andy had a couple of meetings this week. He and I are going to follow up potentially tomorrow. More than likely, we're going to follow up on Monday to figure out how we might be able to utilize Be Concerned in Ludlow and have some of their services down here. And I do want to thank Dave. Dave has pushed some of that work, so bravo there. Another initiative that I'm really excited about and will be coming up for a vote tonight, had the opportunity to work with Educate NKY over the course of the past couple of months. It's been really a strong partnership between the City of Ludlow, Educate NKY, Ludlow Independent Schools, Kenton County Library. We have numerous groups that have come to the table and started to form some of the ideas to where we could at least pass the resolution tonight, have a basis of where we're starting, and then kind of take off from there. I think all groups involved have a passion for improving literacy outcomes for our youngest residents, those kiddos who are even younger than preschool age. That's a really tough group to reach sometimes. Got some really good ideas and good things in the works with St. Elizabeth Hospital, how they could help us out with some of that work. So I don't want to steal all of Dr. Watson's thunder for whatever the Educate NKY folks might say later, but I am proud of the work that's going on there. On August 28th, which happens to be my lovely bride's birthday, so hopefully we don't go till 10 o'clock that night, but on August 28th, I'd like to invite residents to come to our caucus meeting. Gotten a lot of questions lately about who bought the property on the west side of town where the trailer park was a couple decades ago. It's been kind of an empty field for a while. There was a scuba shop there. It was being converted into a dentist office. The city did purchase that land. On the 28th, I would like to invite the community, come to the caucus. Let's have a conversation about, hey, in an absolutely perfect world, what do we want to see on that land? Now, with that caveat, we have to go find a developer with the money that wants to do that. But I think it would be worthwhile to bring folks in, invite folks in, come in and talk about what you might want to see there.
Well, at least if a developer couldn't purchase that land back from the city, they could lease it, and then the city would have income off of that. So that, I think that helps.
Yeah, so certainly I think we have a couple of different routes that we can go. The thing that keeps coming to my mind is the city of Bellevue. And all of the property, particularly along the riverfront, that the city of Bellevue bought a couple decades ago, and how much income they have gotten off of leasing out that land. So they own like where Ensign Harbor is and Buckhead. I'm pretty sure they own the property that Starbucks and the Marble Steakhouse and I think St. Elizabeth has a physician's office there. They own like a lot of that land, and I know in some of my conversations with Mayor Cleaves, they really bring in good revenue off of that. So, if I had my druthers, it probably would be a situation where, we would work with the developer and lease to them. Now, with that being said, saying, hey, you're gonna incur the cost of building whatever you want here, and we're gonna lease land to you. We'll see if we can get that done or not. But if I had my druthers, that's the route we would go, so that we continue to have that passive income for years to come. The one other thing that I would like to note, something been weighing really heavy on my mind for quite a while now, and been thinking about what I want to do moving forward. There have been a number of cities where mayors have announced their re-election bid, or challengers have announced their re-election bid, kind of in the spirit of that, so that people can kind of plan accordingly one way or the other. I do want to announce tonight that I am not going to seek re-election in next November's election. When I started on council nearly 7 years ago, I was seeking to serve my community. I feel a strong call to serve. I think that is why I'm an educator. I think that's why I enjoy coaching as much as I do. And this was another call to serve. I never foresaw myself being the mayor in the first place. It's just one of those things that, life happens sometimes, and that was what kind of came up, and the way that it played out. I love Ludlow, and I love Northern Kentucky, and I think that I have quite a few opportunities to serve our community. It's just going to look a little bit different because I'm not going to be the mayor. As we go through this process, obviously I'll have a lot more to say, and be able to work through some of the feelings that I'm feeling right now. But one of the things that I will say is, whenever we go through this process, what we don't need is a big contentious election for who's going to be the next mayor. And whoever is ultimately the next mayor, I want to do everything that I can to help them with their transition and make that transition as smooth as possible. Because ultimately, like I said, I was called to serve others. I never came into this with any sort of agenda of X, Y, and Z have to happen. I am never going to put any sort of personal biases or feelings or anything else in the way of what I think is best for the city. So ultimately, whoever, if all 5 of you run against each other, whichever of you wins, I will be happy to help with the transition as you become our next mayor. So I did want to put that out there, because I'm sure just taking the temperature of some of these other cities, I'm sure some people are starting to formulate ideas of what they want to do or what they don't want to do. Any questions for me about anything that I discussed?
No, just thanks for taking the risk.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thanks for your service, Chris.
It's been a good experience. It's a learning experience. I'm not resigning tonight. This is not a funeral to my mayorship. I still have 16 months to go.
We've got at least 1 year left to mayor.
Yes. So lots of work to do. I'm going to keep doing what I think is best for our community. But I appreciate the thanks and the kind words. Okay. Next, we will move into the council committee reports. Start with finance.
You said finance?
Finance, please.
We did not have a meeting, but I can tell you what the bank balances are as of August the 4th. In the general fund, we have $1,075,800, healthy balance. In the savings account or contingency account or rainy day fund, whichever you want to call it, we have $1,492,171. Something that we haven't had for years, which is good. In the fire account, we have $34,910, and in the municipal aid, road aid, we have $478. So we're gonna need some,
We're
we're gonna need some of that
Gotta make a
8,000
strategy.
We need you to get the state to give us that $8,000.
I don't want to hear another word about a dump truck.
That's right.
So anyway, those are pretty healthy balances for this trip.
Good, thank you. Parks and Recreation.
Oh, I will make one
I'm
other
sorry.
thing, because in September, we will be looking at what the new tax rate may be. Just so that everyone's aware, PVA will reassess the properties in Ludlow starting next year. They do that every 4 years. So if you see someone from PVA coming around, looking at your house, taking pictures, it's to reevaluate what the taxable assessment, or what the assessment value is for tax purposes on their house.
Don't chase them off. Don't
That last time they did that, the amount went, the taxable value went up, assessment went up about $65 million.
Story for you.
It allowed us to lower the tax rate, but a lot of properties paid more because their value of the house was assessed more. So anyway, just wanted to throw that out there.
Thank you. Parks and Recreation.
Parks and Rec, we are working on a fall event, tentatively on October 11. We will be working hand in hand with Reeves for a fall event, and I will have more details on that to come. We've started working on the Christmas parade, and Chief Stewart and Lieutenant Eastham and I have talked about another event for the kids, maybe trying to put together a touch-a-truck or some type of event like that. So we're busy planning.
Had my last hot dogs in the park last week. It was pretty well attended. Thought we had a pretty good year. Can't thank Chief Stewart, Shane, and Chief Beck enough for all they did for me, all the help they provided, coming down and, visiting and spending some time with us. I really appreciate it. I thank all the people that donated. I've had several people that just paid for the whole event. They had hot dogs delivered, everything I needed. So I've got a nice balance going into next year, and we're going to try to make it a little bigger and better. Wonderful. So thank you.
Lost my place. Public Works Code Enforcement.
We did not.
Okay. All right, next we'll move into the City Administrative Officer's report.
It's kind of winding up the summer. I want to thank everybody for having a great summer. Everything went pretty good. Like Mr. Ziegler said, quite a few great events for the hot dogs in the park. I think everybody really liked it. A lot of people showed up to it. We also had a great fireworks show again this year. Got lucky with the weather, thanks to the committees and everybody that put all that work into it, along with the movie in the park. I know Jamie gets a lot of slack being code enforcement, but I think the city looked pretty good throughout the summer for the most part, as far as yards being mowed, trash, those kind of things. I mean, it's a hard job to constantly stay on people to kind of clean up and weed eat and all those things. But I can't say enough about how everybody, fire and police, and everybody came together to have a really safe, good summer here in Ludlow. The corridor, the business district, hopefully we're going to see some stuff in fall come with some of the light poles, benches, and some changes going through there. Can't say enough about South Bank and Will Weber. I've been lucky to have a really good relationship with him and get the trees down at the park and the fencing, and they've really stepped up to help our city because they know we don't have the funds that some of the other cities have. And I'm still working with them to do something in our business district. So kudos to South Bank for really stepping up and doing what they say they're going to do with the money and stuff. Still working on the construction issues behind the football field. It's really just getting a contractor that can commit to the time. They're already so committed to so many other projects, they just can't nail down when they can start it. It's just a matter of time, but once it starts going, it's going to go full force fast.
Well, and to that point, so everyone understands, the football and soccer seasons, being respectful of those and making sure that everything is safe and that stadium is ready to go complicates the timeline a little bit. So, it's not as easy as just as soon as we can get a shovel in the ground, we get a shovel in the ground, because we cannot put the school in that spot.
Then you got the property down there, just to kind of talk about that. Shane and his guys, and what's his name from Ideal? Howard was out there with that bulldozer going to town day in and day out. They did a phenomenal job cleaning it up and clearing it out and making it presentable, so when we do have developers. I have reached out to a few developers that wanted to kind of see the properties and stuff. And I know Chief Beck actually took the drone out and got us some aerial footage of it and pictures and stuff that I've sent to several developers to kind of entice them to take a look at it. Judge Nachman talked a little bit about county redevelopment funds. We're going to look into some of that to hopefully make up some of the difference on that development, and hopefully we can get some state and county money coming to us to help develop that property a little bit higher end and make it better and entice those developers as well. So I just want to touch on that because he did talk about it earlier. Something that's not in my notes, and I'm not sure why I forgot it, but it was the Z21 this past Thursday. It was supposed to go in front of the planning development, and the Z21 is the new codes and ordinances and stuff, and that has to do with where you're going to put a house, we're going to add on to it, and everything around zoning and stuff. And there was a few people that brought some concerns, and myself and a few people noticed some things that we wanted to address. Did it need to be done? Not really. We could have went on and just made people go through the trouble of having to go through the process of going to the board and stuff. But I want to make it as simple as possible, and if we're going to do it, I want to do it right. So if you're going to add on to your house or put a big building behind you or do whatever, it simplifies it for you, so you don't have to go in front of a board and then come back in front of council. So hopefully we're addressing some of these issues early. It's not going to be perfect because you're talking about thousands of pages of rules and issues, but hopefully the main stuff and how the overlays look in the zone and everything is correct. So we tabled it. The language is coming back to us to make sure we're all good, and then it'll go back in front of the board, and we'll let you know when that does get announced. Baseball field at Carlisle, we're getting it all prepared and ready so it can be played on. You can already tell that the guys have done a great job mowing it down and getting it clean, so it's almost ready. So we are going to be using that, and with that said, hopefully the fitness campaign, the money we got from UC for Cable Park, I don't foresee that project happening. We did receive a $50,000 grant from UC to do a big fitness court there. City would have to raise another $150,000. I reached out to a bunch of donors. They're willing to give money, just not $150,000. So I don't think it's going to happen. I'm not going to hit the timelines. So I don't see that fitness court going. With that said, I will say that those donors that said they would give money would still give me money to other things for that park. So if we can't do that, I still want to improve that park. I think we owe it to the community to do something with that park and make it nice. So when we do have the river walk, whatever, coming by there, that is a nice step off point. So whether it be new playground equipment or whatever, I do at least have access to some money in the future to do something there. So I just wanted to let everybody know that fitness court is a no-go, but I'm still working on that park. I'm not going to touch on some of this other stuff. It's in the notes. You guys can see it. Just giving updates on ordinances and issues and things like that. Any questions?
Hey guys, one thing I'll note that Scott's report kind of jogged my memory on. So he talked a little bit about the business corridor, and one of the things he talked about were you mentioned something about benches or seating areas, whatever. So one of the things that I've heard a lot about, not just the business corridor, but kind of all around town, is just not really enough places to sit. And one of the things that hit me a couple weeks ago, I had the opportunity to go out to Colorado for a few days, and I was in Golden, Colorado, looking at the archway that I've stared at a picture of. I'm breaking the fourth wall here, guys. So I've stared at this picture of the archway to Golden, Colorado for years at this point. And one of the things, and I was like, hey, there it really is. One of the things that struck me in Golden is there are a lot of benches in public where you can sit. And the other thing that struck me, they're all in memory or dedication of someone, and the family or friends or whoever paid for that specific bench. So I think we really have an opportunity here to kill a couple of different birds with one stone, where we could increase the amount of benches that we have around town while still giving people that opportunity to honor someone, because that comes up pretty frequently. So, you know, it could be a nice way to kind of hit both. So I want to put that bug in your ear now. We can talk logistics either at our August caucus or, you know, September, whatever, but I did want to put that bug in your ear that I think that would be a way to get people to pay for us to have nice stuff, but dedicate things to people they want to dedicate them to.
On the next meeting, I'll have the prices for the benches. That way, if somebody says, you know, what would a bench cost me, we'll have at least, so you can tell your friends or whoever, if you wanted to buy a bench, this is what it costs. We'll have those prices on the next meeting.
All right, next on the agenda, we have citizens wishing to address mayor and council. Reminders, if you would like to address everyone, please approach the podium, state your name and address for the record, and you are allotted 3 minutes.
How's it going, everybody?
Hello.
I'm Chad Finney. I live at 517 Linden Street. I just had a couple things I wanted to touch on. I know they were already kind of topics tonight, and some of it was like the paving roads and whatnot. I brought this up last year. I don't think I really ever got an update on it, but the 500 block of Linden Street, the brick road's in rough shape. The curbs are in bad shape. I know somebody else came in a couple months after I discussed it, asking for a handicap parking spot, and looking at that spot, getting up out of the roads in rough shape. So I'm just concerned about what are we gonna do with it. I know Shane's talked to me, like he and I have talked a lot. Thanks for everything, as well as the park and everything else. I know he's working with NKY Water and SD1, discussing the potholes and things like that. What's reasonable, can we get that fixed by them? But I'm just curious to know, from a budgeting standpoint, from a maintenance standpoint, what can I expect as a resident on that block for us to get something done there? Because it is rough. I mean, I sit in a high truck, so it's easy for me to get out. There are people who park multiple feet off, so people can get out the passenger side. You know, it's just rough. So that's one thing. I don't expect an answer right now. The question is just kind of what is the game plan in the long run?
Yeah, so I can provide that for you. So the first thing that we need to do is we need to figure out, council needs to figure out, we need to talk to the community about what do we want to see happen with that street. If the community is fine with traditional paving, then that's something that, you know, as we had the conversation earlier, if we're looking at the roads in the worst shape in town, that's going to be pretty high on the list. It's going to be one that's going to get done very soon. If the community wants to try to restore it and have that brick road, it would, yeah.
1.7 million or two, yeah, just under 2 with curbs and.
Well, there was an attempt many years ago to maybe repave it, and some of the neighbors didn't want to see that.
Yeah. So just for everyone's reference, that's anywhere between 1/3 to 40% of the city's total budget for the year. So obviously, just by ourselves, that would not be possible. We would have to really brainstorm, look at preservation grants and things of the lot of how do we make this happen. So the pun intended, the first path is fairly easy. It would happen sooner than later. The other is going to take a lot more legwork.
And when you say community, are you saying community as a whole, or the residents of that block?
So I would think a couple different things. I would.
I have an opinion on that.
Right. I would certainly want to hear first and foremost from the folks who live in the 500 block of Linden.
I've been talking to a lot of them already, and we're ready for something to happen.
How they feel about the brick?
The majority want it paved at this point because nothing has happened to this point.
with that being something that's so out of the ordinary, and once we do it, we can't go back, right? That would be one of the scenarios where I would want to deliver a letter to everyone who lives on the 500 block of Linden, to invite them to, whether it's a public meeting, if we do a completely separate thing. But I do think people need to have the opportunity to send in how they feel about it, or attend a meeting and talk about that. Yeah, absolutely. So that,
I'm more than willing to go door to door, talk to the folks. Like, I actually have a draft kind of opinion poll of everybody on the street.
Yeah.
That says, you know, what do you want to do? From seeing the posts on Facebook about the pricing and whatnot, talking to Shane some. And I even mentioned to him, like, I think I'm going to walk around and just talk to everybody and see what thoughts are on it.
yeah.
You know, I'm transparent. I'm not trying to sway anybody. I'm just trying to get a feel for what the appetite is to do something with that block at this point. So.
Yeah.
If there was a go, long ago, that would have been one of the roads we would have done in the beginning. That was on the top of our list, and for 2 years, we've been pricing. He's even talked about, could we possibly go in and take sections of it out, but the brick is so jeopardized, we'd have to go out and buy the brick and bring it up. So by the time we got done piecemealing it, it would cost as much as the paving it, and we're not even sure it would work. And because it would be so risky to take it all up, piece other bricks in there. We're not even confident it would look good.
Yeah,
It doesn't have to be a full restoration project.
Right, it's really all or
Brick
nothing.
doesn't match throughout the street.
No.
In some spots, and you got where AKY water came through, just
Yes.
through the brick and didn't even pull
And
it
that's
out.
the other thing, they cut so many of those sections out, and
So I
that's,
get it, I
yes.
understand it, it's just, my question to council and to you is, I would like to hear some sort of plan, or at
Certainly.
least continued communication around what we're doing and try to figure out what to do here. So that's the primary thing from me and others on the block.
Yeah.
Personally, I'd like to see a blacktop, but that's just me. I know some people have a problem with that, and I understand.
Yeah,
that, but
I'm fine with blacktop myself.
It's-
I don't care at this point. Like,
It's
don't
tough
get
to
me wrong,
drive.
I bought the house. It was cool to buy the house. It was on the brick road. It was nice. Admittedly, when I moved here, I drove a lowered Audi. So when I pulled up in front of my house, if anybody was getting in or out, I had to let them out a car length away.
Is it tough on our snow plows on that street very much?
I'm sorry.
Is it very tough on our snow plows when they go through on Linden? I would think it'd be a little difficult with a lot of the holes.
Well, it's just like not potholes on that road, it's more sink spots from where water departments are repairing something, and something's, it's just compacted underneath of it, so that's why we're trying to get
Right.
water departments to fix that part. But it's got like 8-inch curves, a 6-inch curve around the rest of the city, and then some of the way the ground sinks down on the side by the curve, some spots on the curve might be 10 inches tall, so it's, I mean, we could go through and fix that too, but you're gonna lose the state of the historical.
Thanks.
Yeah, so I'm fine with whatever way we decide to go. It's just, I would like to know kind of where we stand with it and have communication on where we plan to go. Because I know budgeting's already done, so I don't foresee it happening here in the next year, if I had to guess. So just kind of keep us in the know on that piece, please.
Certainly.
One other thing, and I know I'm probably over 3 minutes at this point because it did spark discussion, is as far as code ordinance, and I know Jamie's not here, but just something to think about, maybe review the rubbish or excessive growth. It's a little bit, there's a little bit of ambiguity in that. There's not much detail of what is considered excessive growth. And just kind of looking at that and understanding what that means. I know Jamie has left notes, not this year, but years past when he first came on, about, like, you know, grass can't be X height.
8 inches.
Yeah, exactly.
8 inches.
So, you know, other excessive growth, there's nothing really stating what that is. And if there's any exclusions to what constitutes excessive growth, is there a privacy fence around the yard or anything like that? You know, if stuff's growing up and over that fence in other yards, what is all of that like? Just seeking some clarity there to understand, you know, at what point can somebody complain about it, or at what point can we just have to let it be?
I will tell you on your road in particular, because of the brick, one of the biggest biggest things we see, because me and Jamie and Shane, we get together and we drive the roads almost daily to look for different things to see what people are approving, is the weeds in the brick and on the curbs and on where the road and the curb, for whatever weird reason, and it's not just there, it's all over the town. People love to mow their yard, but they don't want to mow the utility strip. And sometimes they'll mow the utility strip, but they don't weed eat the weeds on it, or the weeds are coming out of the road on the curb. So you might have this nice manicured yard, and then you have 10-inch weeds growing up on the curb. And so he'll send out letters like, thanks for mowing the yard, but you still have weeds. As far as fencing and things like that go, if it's a privacy fence and you can see the weeds coming out from underneath the fence, same thing. Or if you can see them from top, it's the same thing. He's not technically supposed to go look over the fence, a privacy fence. Chain links, yes, you can see it and it's whatever. But the weeds around here are insane. Somebody on Adela just took and burnt their whole utility strip because they got tired of being told. They took and round up the whole thing, which is ridiculous, but instead of just mowing it.
Right.
So.
No, I get it.
Yeah.
And again, if there's anything we can do to maybe amend and look at and just kind of seek more clarity there to fully understand it.
Yeah.
I'm somebody who writes documentation all the time for my work, so I understand like there are cases, no matter how well you explain it, it's not going to get through to certain people. But the more we can do to kind of narrow that down and clean it up, I think that will ultimately.
I told him he needed to make a video to put on our website. Well, I literally just had this conversation last week because some people seem confused after he talks to them. I said, I think we need to make a video where you get in front of properties and explain and how you can treat it, different ways to treat these issues and stuff like that.
We'll add that to agenda of an upcoming committee meeting.
And I also understand, some people look at how something's grown in the yard, whether it's flowers or whatever, somebody might consider it weeds, other people might say, hey, that's a very nice flower bed or landscaping we have there, so.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
All right, thank you.
Thanks. I appreciate it.
Is there anyone else for public comment? Okay. Then we'll move into unfinished business. First up, we have a second reading of ordinance 2025-8.
2025-8 is an ordinance adopting an amended comprehensive pay plan. This does not include individual raises. This includes amending the pay scale for city employees so that we can remain, city employees can only be paid within the range approved by council. This changes that range that city employees may be compensated in.
Discussion? Or a motion?
I'll make a motion we approve ordinance 2025-8.
Thank you, Steve.
I'll second.
Thank you, Paula. Lori, could we have a roll call, please?
Mr. Chapman?
Yes.
Ms. Gracious?
Yes.
Mr. Ziegler? Did you say yes?
Yes.
Couldn't hear. Ms. Thompson?
Yes.
Ms. Terry DeVar?
Yes.
Okay, motion passes. Next, we have second reading of ordinance 2025-9.
2025-9 amends Chapter 90 of the Code of Ordinances for Streets and Sidewalks. While mostly it just adds some standards and changes the reimbursement amount for what the city will pay for repair of sidewalks, we did take the opportunity to change some of the language that no longer applies, references to the city engineer, which is a position that no longer exists. Largely, this just lays out specific standards that Jamie's going to be looking for and raises that. It's a reimbursement or a credit, I forget which, but
Reimbursement.
reimbursement, thank you.
And that is $500 now, up to 500?
Up to 50%.
50.
500 up to 50%.
Of the project, total
Yep.
project.
Further discussion or a motion?
I'll make a motion that we pass ordinance 2025-9 unless there's further discussion. Sorry. I've been trying to do this one for 3 years.
I know, and I'll second it.
Okay, thank you, Sarah. Lori, could we have a roll call, please?
Mr. Chapman?
Yes.
Ms. Gracious?
Yes.
Mr. Ziegler?
Yes.
Ms. Thompson?
Yes.
Ms. Terry DeVar?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Next, we'll move into new business. We'll start with resolution 2025-11.
2025-11, for council who has it, you'll notice it's not in my font. That's because this is a resolution authorizing the mayor to enter into the statewide emergency management mutual aid and assistance agreement This is a standard agreement so that everybody who sends mutual aid to another jurisdiction is functioning under the same rules. Largely, it allows you to send help to another jurisdiction. If we send people in, we're not liable for issues that are there, except for intentional torts, which are almost never covered by these agreements. Likewise, if people send help to us, they don't have to worry that we're going to saddle them with any bills, which they would not otherwise carry.
Discussion or a motion?
I'll move if we approve Resolution 2025-11.
Thanks, Steve.
I'll second.
Thank you, Paula. Lori, could we have a roll call, please?
Mr. Chapman?
Yes.
Ms. Gracious?
Yes.
Mr. Ziegler?
Yes.
Ms. Thompson?
Yes.
Ms. Terry DeMar?
Yes.
Okay, motion motion passes. Next, we have Resolution 2025-12.
2025-12 is a resolution of Ludlow expressing its commitment to improving kindergarten readiness and establishing a place-based early learning initiative. This establishes Read Ready Ludlow through Educate NKY. The mayor has worked closely on this. I'll let him explain further.
I will actually defer to our guest from Educate NKY, Dr. Watson.
Hi, thank you, Mayor, and thank you, council members, for having me. My name is Dr. Jenny Watson, a lifelong educator, just joining Educate NKY as Vice President of Early Learning and Family Power. But for 27 years, I've been a classroom teacher, teaching anywhere from kindergarten students all the way up through high school. Then I've been a principal and most recently an assistant superintendent in UPO. So I'm glad to be here with you today. This is an area that we are very passionate about, and I'm going to start by giving you a little bit of data. And Mayor Wright did a great job teeing me up for this. But 90% of children's brains are actually architecturally developed before they ever set foot in kindergarten. So that is an astronomical time period between prenatal care and age 5, where, as you know, just from society in general, there really isn't an agency or a department or anybody who owns how kids learn at that time. So what Educate NKY is doing and using data to kind of drive this discussion, about 50% of students in Kentucky schools enter what we call kindergarten ready, as evidenced by a screener that is given when they first enter school. Ludlow students mirror that number. About half of your students, when they're age 5, are really determined to be ready. That then leads to proficiency and mastery learning in 3rd grade. It leads to a feeling about being successful in school. You can take it all the way up through graduation rates. So this is a key factor where the infrastructure that we're building with Read Ready Ludlow would establish key partners and coordinate efforts to really do kind of a child find. And this originated in Covington. It was Renee Covington and my colleague Mary Kay Cumming, who's really implementing that in Covington specifically. This year we're partnering together. But really what Read Ready Ludlow is just coordinating efforts with agencies for us to really find these kids and families from prenatal care through age 5. I love coordinating with the parks idea, putting some play-based developmentally appropriate structures within that, and that'll all be something that we will look to support. Educate NKY will bring, pending the resolution adoption, some funding to the table to assist you all with this effort, and we'll talk about that at a later date. We've been in close contact with Dr. Steffen and Aubrey Cahill at the school level and some other representatives. They are planning on passing a school-based resolution a week from today, I think, at their board meeting. And that would bring the coordination together between city and school district. That would then, we would work with you all to present a check. So, any questions for me or comments about Read Ready Ludlow?
That sounds great.
Thank you. Appreciate the support.
Thank you, Dr. Watson. Okay, if there's no further discussion, is there a motion?
I'll make a motion to pass resolution number 2025-12.
Thank you, Sarah.
I'll second.
Thank you, Julie. Lori, can we have a roll call, please?
Mr. Chapman?
Yes.
Yeah.
Ms. Gracious?
Yes.
Mr.
Yes.
Ziegler? Ms. Thompson?
Yes.
Ms. Terry DeMar?
Yes.
Love the enthusiasm, Dave. Next, we have first reading of ordinance 2025-10.
2025-10 adopts a supplement to the Code of Ordinances. This is the published ordinances of Ludlow, and it's just doing an update. I'm actually new enough, I don't know if we do these every year or every 5 years. How often do we do these?
Annually.
Annually? All right, so it's the annual code update.
Is there any discussion on that?
Yeah, what are we trying to do here? I mean,
It's the ordinance that says that you're going to publish them. When voting on this is saying that it's going to be a publicly published, all your ordinances will be publicly
You're on the-
published.
Mr. Ziegler's one ahead.
Oh, sorry.
what are we talking about now?
The ordinances,
I'm
it's,
sorry, folks. Forgive me for being old.
No, so
I'm
Dave,
sorry.
Dave, this is the
I know what you're
annual,
talking
yeah, kind of
I
clarify.
got you.
Is there any further discussion on that? Okay. Before we move on to the next first reading, I've been battling a headache all day. I'm not thinking clearly. Thank you all sincerely for that unanimously passing the resolution to establish Read Ready Ludlow. I think it's incredibly important. Obviously, that's my passion in life. I was an English teacher. I have a master's degree as a reading specialist. I care really deeply about this work. So thank you all for making that commitment. And I should have said that 4 minutes ago, not now. All right. Final piece of new business. First reading of ordinance 2025-11.
2025-11 is an ordinance adding section 40.29 to the city's Code of Ordinances. It prohibits falsely impugning the reputation of employees, residents, or officers. It's a short section, so I'm just going to read all of it. An officer or employee may not falsely impugn the reputation of any resident, employee, or officer of this or any other jurisdiction if an officer or employee believes their accusation to be true and then learns that it was false, even in part. They should apologize in the same forum and manner where the accusations were made. A failure to apologize within a reasonable period of time after learning of the falseness of the accusations will create the presumption that the conduct was intentional. This is an amendment. Section 40 is the Code of Ethics.
I have a question. Did we not just pass 2025-11 as authorizing the mayor to enter the statewide emergency management mutual aid?
It might have that.
Resolution versus ordinance.
Got it.
Okay,
Yeah, you're
okay.
right.
All right.
Yes,
I
but
got
it's,
you.
yep.
All right, where are we?
We're on this one now.
Are we talking about it? Yeah, I'm trying to figure out what we're trying to accomplish here, because I think I know. But I'd like to hear, it seems to me that you're trying to keep some people from posting or sharing things that maybe you don't want, or some of you don't want to hear. And I know that's kind of directed at me, and I'm not going to change a whole lot. And I know I won't win this battle, but this is kind of what we got going on in our government now, being told what we can and can't do all the time. And, I, for one, I'm going to continue to do things the way I do them. And if that bothers people, I'm really sorry. But I feel like I have a lot of support. So that's just what I'm going to say. There you go.
Further discussion?
I would like to say KLC actually advised that we add this to our ordinance when we were at our training. Other cities do have the same language. And it's just to ensure that that the residents of Ludlow can trust what the officers and employees are saying about them, and so that the work that they do is not put into question, and that it's factual.
I will, without injecting into the debate, Ms. Thompson did point me towards, I did draft this ordinance, Ms. Thompson did point me towards the city of Dayton, who has functionally identical. I may have changed one or two words, but it is almost identical to the city of Dayton.
Further discussion?
I just think we try to be as transparent as possible.
Absolutely.
I know if you want to see whatever money we spend each month, the record's out on the webpage under the finances. And I think we, you know, try to publish as much stuff as possible on what we're doing. There's, you know, there's always improvement on that to, you know, get the information out there, but I think we're trying to do our best to get factual information out there as best possible.
And that's what our residents expect from us as officials.
Further discussion on that? Okay, both of those ordinances will receive a second reading during our September business meeting. Next, we have council announcements. Julie?
I have nothing.
Sarah?
I don't have anything.
Dave?
Nope.
Paula? Steve?
I'd just like to say the person, Jenny McMillan, that is running our community center now, I've seen a lot of good things come out of there, so she's really advertising what that community center could do, so just thank you to her.
Yeah.
She's doing a great job.
Yeah, I'll make sure it passes on. Okay, with that, is there a motion to go into executive session pursuant to KRS 61-810-1C?
I'll make a motion to go into executive session.
Second.
Okay, all right, all in favor signify aye.
Aye.
Opposed signify nay. Okay, motion carries. We will now move into executive session. Thank you all. We'll clear the room.